tifu dressing up as Harry Potter to please my GF during sex. My GF is a hardcore Harry Potter fan. Or at least she used to be. I remember during the honeymoon phase of our relationship, she mentioned one of her fantasies was a Harry Potter roleplay situation where she was a professor at Hogwarts that ends up being seduced by one of her students. I didn't know what to do with that information at the time, but I thought it was funny and I never forgot about it. Less than 2 years later, I decided to bring out my inner wizard and figure out how to fulfill the fantasy my GF always wanted. After completing my Harry Potter research, aka rewatching the movies, I called my GF a few days ago and encouraged her to play along and avoid asking questions when she came over that evening. That was it, no spoilers. When my GF showed up at my flat, I was standing in the lounge wearing a Harry Potter costume and pointing a wand at her. She laughed. I referred to my GF as Professor, and asked her if she remembered that spell she taught me during dark arts class that paralyzed people. My GF was still laughing, but she eventually nodded in response to my question. I waved my wand and shouted, "Petrificus Totalus." My GF struggled to stop laughing, but she managed to get into character and freeze instantly, as per my spell. I literally picked up my motionless GF and put her down on the couch. I proceeded to undress my GF while telling her how much I've always wanted to sleep with a mudblood and pump her full of pure blood seed. Not gonna lie, I cringe on the inside when I delivered that line because it sounded silly, but then again, I could tell my GF was turned on when I removed her underwear. It was working. When I was done going down on my GF, I waved my wand between her legs and said, "Unimpregnate." I made her aware that I was gonna penetrate her without protection and my made-up spell would prevent her from becoming a mudblood MILF. I unzipped my pants and banged my GF in my wizard uniform. She forgot she was under my paralysis spell and broke character a few times when she moaned and moved her body, but at that point we were both past the point of controlling ourselves and just did whatever felt good. The two of us came really hard. Based on the outcome, I knew my GF enjoyed what I did. However, post-nut clarity left her with mixed feelings afterwards. My GF said the fantasy was hot when it happened and she appreciated my effort, but replaying it in her head made her feel like we were acting too much like children to get ourselves off, and that was kind of giving her the ick. She never said it in so many words, but I sensed that she was low-key trying to tell me that she outgrew her Harry Potter fantasy and I was probably too late. Instead of letting it go and moving on, I revisited the topic last night, almost a week since the fantasy. I decided to ask my GF what I could do differently in case I wanted to surprise her with a sequel. My GF sighed and said I could just copy and paste what her ex-BF did. She paused mid-sentence and looked at me like she suddenly realized she said something bad. Against my better judgment, I encouraged my GF to finish her sentence. She said she didn't really care about Harry Potter prior to meeting her ex, who was the Og Potter fan apparently. She said his nerdy obsession with Harry Potter was endearing. I asked how endearing. My GF dodged my question and said I should focus on the fact that she enjoyed the version of her fantasy one created. I asked what was her ex's version. My GF said, "If you really wanna know," before telling me that her ex enjoyed playing the role of a Quidditch captain who ends up missing the game and losing the tournament because he was balls deep inside his wizard GF. She said it was unexpectedly hot because her ex pretended to be reluctant and submissive, whereas she had to be distracting and dominant, which was new for her. She said she didn't know she could squirt until she dominated her ex. I said I didn't know she could squirt until now. My GF awkwardly laughed it off and said I should be grateful I've never made her squirt because she always hated the cleanup. I asked my GF why she would plant the seed of a Harry Potter roleplay fantasy at the beginning of our relationship if her ex already did a better job. She rolled her eyes at me saying, "Better job," and said she was still somewhat high on her ex during our first few dates and wanted to recapture the same magic from her previous relationship, but she eventually fell in love with me and forgot about her ex and his Harry Potter BS, until recently when she saw me in my Harry Potter costume, which automatically made her think of her ex. I should have stopped asking questions, but for some reason I couldn't. I asked my GF if she was turned on during the fantasy roleplay because she saw me in the Harry Potter costume or her ex. She said, nothing. I asked if the ick she was feeling afterwards was not really the ick, but the guilt of knowing she was thinking of someone else fulfilling her fantasy instead of me. My GF said she was gonna go and she did. I didn't stop her. Now she's not responding to my messages or my calls. TLDR*, I dressed up as Harry Potter to fulfill a sexual fantasy my GF had at the beginning of our relationship, but I accidentally made her remember how much better that fantasy was when her ex was Harry Potter and not me. Now my relationship is no longer in a good place.
One of those rare times when I put on my wizard robe and hat, didn't work.
Not every wizard knows that Squirt should have stuck with your namesake and did Loader instead.
Congratulations on having the
greater than I've always wanted to sleep with a mudblood and pump her full of pure blood seed. Expelliarmus.
Dumbledore.
See, what you need to take away from this is your girlfriend likes the idea of being more the Harry Potter stuff. Leave that behind, come up with something new where she gets to be distracting, dominant and sexy and you're submissive and just told you what she likes. Don't be upset she found that out. Have fun with it.
Don't worry, Shush is just a Horcrux.
It worked for the other guy though.
Rip bro.
Dumbledore.
Agreed. Should have gone with Pornhub Golem.
New Reddit lore unlocked.
Let her dominate you, I guess, if that's what she wants to do. Challenge her ex to a wizard duel and make sweet love to him.
Fetus deletus.
Sorry bro, you'll find another girlfriend. If she isn't answering, stop calling. You are not the one in the wrong and you are just hurting yourself. Go out with friends, have fun, find other girls to have a relationship with. This one is over even if she comes back, so be ready to tell her that when she contacts you, and she will contact you. I don't know it'll be to end the relationship. Apologize or think to make up, but you'll have to end the relationship as she is still thinking of her ex. Good luck bro. Wish you the best in life.
I don't know how I should feel about the thought of a Pornhub golem.
Dumbledore no.
I definitely made a mental note about my GF being dominant and I'm hoping to explore that with her. The thing is, I'm not upset that my GF had a sexually satisfying relationship with her ex. It's just the timing of me doing something for my GF and finding out that her ex did something similar. And he did better, was a lot to absorb and it did make me feel a little bit jealous, not gonna lie. I'm human, I have feelings, but I'm currently working on making my GF understand that I don't want to lose her because she had a life before she met me.
Yes, crossing wands with her ex is the way too.
Being happily married with a healthy life with my wife for 13 years and not once has a comparison to her ex been made after marriage. Sounds like she still thinks about him, even if it's a little bit for no reason. I'd move on. You both should be worshipping each other, both giving it 100%, not just you.
And I did it in a robe with sleeves that were longer than my arms.
I don't know how people in the comments avoid the elephant in the room and try to tell Op what he should do. GF told him directly that she wanted to try something that she already done with her ex. She even said that her interest in the fantasy was because of her ex. She used something that her ex liked and did it with her actual boyfriend. How can you not see how bad this is? I'm leaving behind the fact that she even told him that she squirted with her ex, giving the idea that her actual boyfriend couldn't climax to the didn't even respond to his question where he asks if the really enjoyed it because it was foreplay or because she was fantasizing with her. She seems to be in a place where, after 2 years, she even remembers and has her ex in her mind. Probably this happening can mean that you're avoiding a worst outcome in the way. I think you should have a very serious and down-to-earth conversation with her about your relationship status because, at least for me, what happened could be a deal breaker.
Good self-awareness. Your feelings are understandable and it sounds like you're on the right track for working through them. It definitely sounds like it's not so much the Harry Potter that she wanted. Not your fault that you essentially got told the wrong thing.
She should NT have dated you while being high on him and should have been more honest with you before the roleplay started.
Already doing the man is always at fault thing. Love clearly in the wrong here for numerous things.
Did you give back your parents' robe after the event?
This seems positive. I think it's a cornerstone of healthy relationships to be able to talk about your feelings like this and ensuring she can feel safe talking about this stuff without needing to be afraid of how it sounds like you're good enough at communication that you can make this whole experience into a positive that will grow into many happier times.
Yeah, what kind of misguided sex positivity pills have Redditors in this thread taken that they say he should just adapt to being submissive? That really isn't the issue here, folks.
My precious, said by Gollum as he repeatedly equips and unequipped the ring in his finger.
I just witnessed an Avada Kedavra.
She could have brought up what she liked without bringing up her ex. Could have said, hey, I like this thing. I get off like that. Had to go through a whole mental game to get you to do it. And put you down as well, even if it wasn't her intent. You went out of your way to try something new and embarrassing under the wrong pretext. Don't feel like the bad guy.
Give it to us raw.
Obviously he forgot to cast level 3 eroticism.
Dumbledang it.
Puts wand in mouth Avada Kedavra.
Yep, everyone giving the blind, it's fine, she just likes to be on control. I guess it goes further than that.
And wriggling.
Bro, let it sink in that you really put yourself out there and she was probably thinking about the last boy she was with. And she couldn't even be straight up with you about it. Like you asked for feedback and she told you to refer to my last BF. Like come on yo, is that? People really out here telling you to head back in. Forget the bad parts of this conversation. And copy the other things she mentioned she liked about her ex minus the Harry Potter. Reddit preying on your downfall.
Yeah, she's the one who up. Op is only 2 years in. He could just leave her and breed his infinitus. Some other girl who don't actually compare him to an ex.
Dumbledore. Watched her walk out that Dumbledore.
He needs to ditch this Death Eater and find a nice Hufflepuff.
Embryo incendio.
I'm not exaggerating when I say I spit out my pie after reading your quip.
Agvagba gebgubga.
Hey man. I know it may be weighing on you, but you're clearly more in her interest than just a fantasy. Keep on keeping on your we're doing well. Not saying that self-doubt doesn't happen, but I feel like you got this regardless.
Hard agree. What the is with the tone of some of the messages here, like focus on the lessons he's learned to better please her. Get in the sea. Her reaction was cold and hurtful when he had gone way out of his comfort zone already to please her. Yes, it was clumsy and cringe-worthy, but that's sometimes part of the game. Her reaction was awful and doesn't warrant chasing her emo.
I'm so confused, like the GF didn't even want a HP fantasy, yet also never communicated any of that to Op before they went through this ridiculous charade? Then the XBF, yikes.
Dude, this is one of those times where you just had to keep your mouth shut, but you kept digging, and if you enjoy light play, would you decide never to do it again because your ex did it before? Would you say your ex did it better? Your mistake was bringing up her ex over and over when she already told you she was over him, but you kept comparing your performance to his. She's a grown woman with a life before meeting you, and you're the guy she chose to be with, not him. She used to like RP. Maybe she wanted to try RP again at the beginning before being really happy about her great life with you. Next time, don't get so jealous about someone's past life. And doubly don't get jealous and start accusing her of thinking about her ex when you were the one who decided to try out this RP thing 2 years later. It's not like she was the one who reminded you about it.
Careful though, if the ex proves to be equipped with a superior wand, our hero might just find his own wand lacking and inferior.
Finally, a not dogshit take. The cherry on top is that she stopped talking to him.
She basically called Op a rebound that she learned to love after giving him a chance. Big yikes.
The real issue I have is you didn't use your as a want and you didn't scream expecto patronum when you came. I think your performance came in with some serious flaws. You should review the game footage before next week and make adjustments.
Sounds like she mentioned it in passing like 2 years ago and Op completely surprised her with it now. So it's not like she thought she needed to clarify exactly what she wanted. And yeah, she shouldn't have brought up the ex, but Op kept digging for details too. Op could have just taken note of her wanting to be more dominant and closed the conversation.
The only counterpoint I have to this is that when she initially mentioned the ick, it puts him in a weird place of being party to ick. So digging more made sense because he was probably very embarrassed and felt like a creep all of a sudden. It probably would have been better if she said that was a fun one-time thing, but she got it out of her system.